Thank you for joining us back after the lunch break, and we will continue with the next panel with our guests that were already introduced to us briefly, but because we agreed that our panel will be more about mutual discussions, I will reintroduce a little bit and tell you more about our guests. So I will start with Professor Dr. Ari Adel Abdul Kadir. As was mentioned, she is a president of Duhok Polytechnic University, and she holds a doctorate in wood industries from 2007. And since then, she's continuing her research in that area. And of course, as a resident of Duhok Polytechnic University, she's fully familiar with the plans and with the needs of TVET education in Kurdistan. Then, as a second guest, we have Han Kyan. She's a program officer, program expert for TVET programming with UNESCO. And we have our guest, Kava Fatullah. Kava is a senior education advisor coming from here, Kurdish, proud Kurdish person, but of course with global experiences with setting up the policies and the programs of TVET education. So I wish all of us a cheerful and energetic discussion. And I would like to also mention and remind you that there are these QR codes on your tags. So even during the discussion, you can set your questions, and we will go back to these questions in the end of the panel. So thank you. Thank you for accepting the invitation to participate on the panel on general principles and framework of vocational and technical education. I will start with a very general question, and maybe I will start with Professor Dr. Ari. What is the basis of TVET education from academic and scientific approach? So please.
Thank you so much, Katrina. Really, it's my pleasure to be here today. If you don't mind, actually, I prefer to speak in Kurdish because there is many details in the Ministry of Higher Education's strategic plan, and really, I want all audience understand what I'm talking about. So I will speak in Kurdish. افدا ما هوا باش بريزان زور به خوشحالم افروکه از الویرا آماده بوی ما هیوی دارم بابت دنگی گلکی واضح و روم بیتن از دکتورا آری سربزانکا پولیتکنیک دهوک ماوه که دیر و درجه پراستی سر بابت خاندنا پیشهی امکارت کین رنگ دبو هوین باریس وک ام پیدا چونه کت آخفنه داد کین دیدیار کین که اوه بو ماوه 3 سالانه از بخوب شخص خوک سر و بزان که امل سروی بابتی شولت کین خاندنا پیشهی وک نیاسینک ماناوه ورگرتنا پیزانین کارمایی فیربون راهینان سر تایبتمندیه که جواز بیتن آن هر تایبتمندیک بیتن بهتا دست نیشان کرن سر بنمایت زانستی برجه که 7 صده پراکتیکی بیتن 30 صده تیوری بیتن افرجه هنه چل لابورو ورشو سنتر راهینان بین انجام دان چل کرت حکومی بیت کزان کوبن ورشن آن سنترن وزارتا کار و گریدای بن یان جیل کرت تایبت بن و کمپانی پشتی که خیندنا اوه خاندنا پیشهی ده باورنامه پیشهی هیت ورگرتن یا ایک سالیه یان دبلوما ایک سالیه دبلوما 2 سالیه بکالوریوسا 3 سالیه اوه بنمایت سرکیت خاندنا پیشهینه برزان الولاتن پیشکفتی لزانکوین پیشکفتی خاندنا پیشهی تیتا خاندن ولاتن خدانن آبورن و پیش اسازین بهیس پشبستن کادر ناوندی درچوین خاندنا پیشهیت کن اما اگزانکوین پولی تکنیک براستی ام زور رجده سروی چندید کن که اف خاندنا بیتا وجوده چه وزارة خاندنا بلندو وكلين زانستي چوك أواري مايا بيگو مانجي ام حزت كين بتر بيتا بيش اخستن الوزارة پەروەردەیی خوش بختانه و بري دروجا كومبينا جواتا وزارة خاندنا بلند بو دیرین ما هینا درست کردن و جناب وزیری پسند السروی چند کرکو زانکویا پولی تکنیک دهوک دی اکم زانکویا پولی تکنیک بیتن دی سه پشکن پیشهی الدهات که نزیک داده هینا و کرن دبلوما اکسالی دی ورگریتن امت بابت وکید بیجن رک خستنا رین مایا و وکرنا اوه خاندنه هر وصان كالفيرا نينارا تفت يا آمادية أم وك منبر تقل برنامج تفت تقل هوالو برادرت وزارة پەروەردەیی كاركي جلكي باش ما أنجام دايا أم تبينين بيويستا وك ريبورتا تفت أو سرانسر عراقي هاتيا أنجام دان أم جلك بش بستنب بآمار تفت بكين كو أمشين بودا هاتي خاندنا بيشي وكين الهرم كردستاني.
Thank you, Dr. Ari. I would like maybe follow up on this and ask our other guest, because already you mentioned that there is a roadmap, there is a prepared framework, but maybe from methodological perspective and maybe from implementation perspective, what this roadmap should have from methodological perspective? What is essential to have a good TVET policy or framework? So maybe we can start with Kava.
Yeah. Hello. Thank you for extending the invitation, and apology, I'll be speaking English, although my name says Kawa. I am Kurdish and I'm from city of Kirkuk, but I left over 45 years ago. 5 o'clock this morning was first time I ever come back to Kurdistan. So I ask your forgiveness if I speak in English. TVET, really the basic tenet of TVET globally back where I come from in the UK, and I've worked in many other European countries and around the GCC as well, it's really focusing on aligning with the labor market needs, ensuring graduates are work ready to take on the challenges of meeting the industry expectations for now and emerging industries for the future. Now, the challenge is, how do you get industry engaged? They need to be party to the development of the programs, the curriculum. They need to be party at the table in developing the assessment. They need to be there in setting the standards for the various job competencies. So you will have a national occupational standards. The framework for the national qualification framework really needs to be designed, developed in consultation with industry, because after all, the graduates will be going to industry and getting the jobs. And one key point as well is the perception of vocational education. In Europe, we struggled with it, where everybody, if you were not successful in secondary schools, when you're doing your GCSEs or A-levels, etc., you will go to the vocational route. The best one will go to higher education and universities. But our economies have changed. Globalization has forced us to change. We need to change the perception, how we view vocational education. So a vocational qualification must have the same value as an academic qualification. When industry knows that, when the students and parents know that, and when the rewards is there, what do I mean by rewards? Pay, sustainability and longevity, and mobility. So we really, in the Kurdistan region, when you're looking at your TVET sector, you need to break down the glass barrier, i.e. the students, when they embark on a particular vocational pathway, they can see the sky, but they can't reach it because the system doesn't allow them lifelong learning. We all change career. I started as an electronics engineer, moved into different sectors. Now I'm here today. That is real working life. So that's what I was saying. It's the alignment with the industry, a framework for the qualification and the standards and assessment, and rigorous quality assurance to ensure graduates, if they graduate from a particular college or institute or university in a technical pathway in Soleimani or Kirkuk or Hawler or Duhok, it is the same value, the same quality. So that's what my view is on it.
Thank you. Maybe
colleague.
Also to add up from the implementation perspective, because Hangyan, you have lots of experiences. You are here for already 4 years, and you supported implementation of several projects related to TVET, on-the-job training. So if you could say what is for you as a crucial thing there.
Okay, so my name is Hyun-kyung. I'm from UNESCO, and then thank you very much for having me in here on behalf of the Santosh, which was absent in unforeseen reasons. So I actually wanted to ask Katerina that, like, oh, she's talking. Sorry. I wanted to ask Katerina how, or maybe I can ask you. So how many times you change your occupations?
Will help me.
Change career. And
Yeah,
I
change
changed
career.
7 times.
See, and then I wanted to ask Ms. Abir, like, how many times you change your occupations? Like, you're from like teacher, and then you're a professor, and then now you're a dean. How many times you have been changing your career during your career lifetime?
I don't understand what you mean by change career.
Yeah.
They already, when they graduate and get the certificate, I mean PhD, they already get the...
No, I mean yourself.
For example, I was a teacher, and after
Yeah.
15 years,
long
I changed.
time. Long time.
15 years, I was, and then after 15 years, I changed my career. And I had the opportunity to change the career because there was this possibility, and there was not a stigma of changing careers.
Of course.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So in the research, is saying that the most of the person changes their career in their lifetime 5 to 7 times.
Yeah.
And then each time we need actually TVET in the TVET need to be placed there for the skilling for the new jobs, and the reskilling for the adaptation and the changing at the work, and then the upscaling of your professional growth and the technical capacity building. So that we, as a UNESCO, we are helping the youth, especially for the youth, for who are first time learning the new technical and vocational educations. And then also we are also supporting, like Mr. Kawa was saying, the lifelong learning of it through the vocational training centers for the who wanted to change their career or who wanted to build their careers capacities within the same changing or shifting their careers. So,
Yeah, thank you. I will just ask you maybe the microphone closer.
okay.
Thank you, perfect. Thank you for these inputs. I think it really gives us the framework of what we are going to talk today. And also we want to discuss TVET not only as a methodology, as abstract concept, but really how we can set it up in Kurdistan context, Kurdistan region of Iraq, and why it's actually needed. So maybe I will start with the question to Professor Dr. Ari. Why is essential actually to have vocational trainings in Kurdistan? Why we need that? Why we are talking about it? Why there is this huge new framework coming up?
Yes. بارزان بسیارا کاترینای سروی چنده بسیارت کد بوچی خواندنا پیشه‌ای یا فر بهت وجود الهرم کردستانه. ام وک ما مستو اکادمی و سروبزانکو بشکل وزارت خواندنا بلندو بکلین زانستی وک هولاتیک. جمارا قطابیت هیتا ورگرتن سالانه درچوی آمادهی رجاوید بینا 30,000 تا 40,000 قطابی خیندکار سالانه تینا ورگرتن الزانکویا. اف همی قطابی حزد کن باورنامه بکالوریوسی ور بگرن. اف همی درچویت هنه هین همی رینشتین باریس هین همی زانن کو اف زختکا گلکا مازن سر کومالگه زختکا گلکا مازن سر حکمته هبونا خواندنا پیشه‌ای باور بکن چاره سریا ریشه‌ای بو گلک کیشا وکو یادیار کو کومالگه هرما کردستانی کومالگه کی گنجا رجا 6% گنجن بتر 6% یجی یادیار کو طبعا بيتن اف وزارة کار اف آماره بو مدرس کر بس اف آماره یاج دفوان درکتی کادر آن کارمند و کریکارن داخلی هرما کردستان دبن نزیکی 150,000 کادر وسطی منینه کادر ناوندی منینه چون که ما خواندنا پیشه‌ای نینه براستی اوه بارگرانیه که هر مازنه باشه خلق گازنداد که دلیوین کاری نینه آیا اف کارمندش دروتید کریکارش دروتید با اوی چوا دلیوا کاری هیا بوچی گنجی ما دلیوا کاری نینه اگر بی مسحک البازاری بکی بسیارا خدانت کمپانیا بکی بسیارا خدانت شولی بکی دی بیجیتن کارمایی نینن سکیلز نینن تارادکی حق وانایت به چنده دا لازمه حکمت هرما کردستانه وزارت خاندنا بلند وزارت پرورده شوه که وکید بیجن یه فعلی آماده کاریت خوب کت کار خوب کت که فعلا خاندنا پیشهی بیت وجوده دین پشتینگی ده بحثی وی چنده که خاندنا پیشهی وزارت پرورده دیف بیزانینت من هین که گشتی چراد ده خالقا دیتر گنج ما حاجزك نفسية هي كهاتا إعدادية فيتن آمادية خلاص بكتن درچوي آمادية بيتن دابچيتن باورنامه بكالوريوسي ور بگريتن وتزاني جي كار نينه بس كالتورة كي جواكي دا پیدا بو دف دي بابت ويل دف كسو كارت ويل دف خلقه كي هميت بيتن أفا درچوي كلية بيتن آن بكالوريوس هبيتن بريزان اگر درچوي ما گنج ما درچوی پیشه‌ای بیتن و دلیوین کاری ببینیتن دی مجبور بیتن الدی فرسق خوب گریتن و خاندنه بخینیتن و کلتور ولاتی جی دهتا گهورین کلتور جواکی دهتا گهورین کو خلقه کگر باورنامه پیشه‌ای اینا دی دلیوین کاری بینن طبعا اوه پش بستن پاریکاری وزارت خاندنا بلند وی حالتی که وقتی قطابی ششه آمادهی خلاص کرد وقتی دا بشکرنا ناواتی تنسر کلیج و پیمانگان ادویتن خاندنا پیشهی جی حصا خواه بیت ادوی چنده داد وی توزیعه دا گلک اگر هنه هینن باریس همید زانن بسرنگ دم نه هاری کار بیتن کو ام اگر آبیجین لی اگرت سرکی وکی مگوتی و دیتنا دلی واکاری و دا افگنجی مجی ریکه که بخو ببینیتن نه تنها بیتا خودان باورنامه بکالوریوس و دلی واکاری نبیتن. Thank you.
Thank you. So I see that you mostly emphasize the aspect that it is essential for making sure there are young people who are employable. So it's mostly like this individual perspective with very strong effect on the economy of the country. But maybe from different perspective, on community and society level, how society in Kurdistan can benefit from vocational trainings and a strong framework for vocational training. And maybe I will give word to, I will start with the Hangyan, and then maybe Kava, you can follow up. Hangyan.
Yeah.
So that how community can be benefited from the Tibet project, so that the Tibet is actually, I mean, Doctor was saying that the providing a necessary skills and the knowledges and attitudes and the values and the competencies to be prepared for the labor market, right? So that that will actually continuously supporting the communities, building their livelihoods and then their financial supports and then the economics within the community. So for through doing that, so that we actually, for example, in our case in the UNESCO, that when we were developing a Tibet projects, that we actually have lots of consultation meetings with the communities too, so that like we know exactly what the communities are looking for, what are the gaps and what are the barriers, what is the main barriers they're limiting their access to the vocational training. So that we try to involve the community as much as possible for the sustainability in a perspective of it, so that the outcome should be also contributed to the community building and then the sustainability of the society.
Would you like to follow up?
The question I think was about TVET, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, and how society can benefit from it.
How society benefits.
And community.
Okay. I think to have an effective TVET system, in first principle, I would say get the ecosystem in place to support the TVET system. If that ecosystem is not there holistically, you can add, tweak with bits here and there. It will never give you the outcomes that you really desire in terms of meeting the expectations of your strategy, basically. How communities will benefit is wealth generation. If you can create jobs, for example, in a particular village or a small town or a city, and employ the younger generation and stay in a sustainable employment with good pays, and opportunities to progress. And that is the key, opportunities to progress. For example, if a college graduates a number of trainees and they become technicians in electronics, well, after 10 years, they don't want to remain technicians only, they want to progress. They get married, they have children, they buy a house. These are aspirations we all have, and we have for our children. TVET can provide that pathway. And this is why I say by the ecosystem. If the ecosystem is there and the governance of it is right, then that wealth generation benefiting communities will be there. Ultimately as well, might as well add, is how you link the schools, the TVET sector and higher education. And that can be encompassed in a national skills framework, where you're looking at 21st century skills, you embed it that everybody benefits, employers, governments, students, and communities out of it. Get these bits right initially, have that overall picture, and then you can add and put the systems and processes in place to implement it.
Thank you. Maybe just one follow-up question. Several times we mentioned that we are using TVET as a sort of like framework to support young people to find employment. But on the other hand, I don't think we mentioned in details that where we should orient this TVET. We mentioned that labor market needs. But recently you mentioned that, yes, it is an ecosystem, and we have the employers there. So maybe also how employers can benefit from that, and why employers should be interesting and supporting if Kurdistan is actually interested in setting up a strong framework for TVET.
Yeah, do you want colleagues to come in?
If anyone wants to step in.
Right, Kurdistan is not any different than any other country, really. We have the same problem in the UK or in Germany or in Sweden, those who have lived and worked and traveled abroad. So Kurdistan is not unique in the sense it's how do you get what do employers look for? They look for a competent, qualified, work-ready workforce. You give them this combination, they will employ them, they will be happy, because ultimately they will serve them as well. Now, how do we get them to the table? There are a lot of initiatives. Kurdistan can look at it abroad, in the region, in the GCC, they're working. I know countries which I supported in terms of setting up each college, each institute, an advisory board. The members of the advisory board will be primarily employers and members of the community, the local community. So they will bring the needs of the community to the advisory board. Employers will bring their needs to the board, and they will have that conversation with the regional college. This is what we need. This is what employers and community needs. Now, how can the college or the institute supply it? So it's all about supply and demand, really, ultimately. That's what I would say.
Thank you. Maybe I will just take 30 seconds to remind everyone, because we already opened lots of questions, lots of interesting questions. If you would like to have a follow-up questions, don't hesitate to use at the moment these QR codes and send it to Slido, and to open up discussion later on. We have still some questions to go, but you can start writing your questions through the QR code already now. So to follow up a little bit, and now very open question. I will give you space to answer however you like, from your professional background and perspective, who wants to join the question and answer it. What is the biggest challenge for TVET in Kurdistan, or globally in any country when you are starting with TVET, but especially in Kurdistan? So what are the challenges here? So please.
Yeah, I'll start. Again, excuse my ignorance if I'm not fully knowledgeable about the issues in Kurdistan, but from what I see, what I hear, Kurdistan doesn't have yet a national qualification. It doesn't have a skills strategy as such. Doesn't have a national qualification framework. I know I spoke to colleagues the federal government in Baghdad, they are developing a TVET qualification framework. That's fine, but we need to see how that is aligned with the national qualification framework. So if a student graduates with a bachelor degree in a particular sector following this framework, will their qualification be of the same value and weight as the traditional route? In the UK, what we did, we brought alignment to the vocational qualification and our secondary school. So in the UK, we have GCSEs, you have in this country, and A-levels. Our diploma is the same weighting as an A-level in terms going and embarking on a higher education program. So that equality and alignment really encourages students to pursue different paths, yet come ultimately to the same goal. We shouldn't differentiate between them and say, well, you are good, but not as good as this one. It really should give opportunity for progression and meeting their learning needs. That's one of the challenges. The second challenge, I think, again, I might be mistaken, vocational education in the Kurdistan region, as I would say, the rest of federal Iraq is delivered in a college or a school environment. Now, the premise of vocational education, technical and vocational, is really application of the knowledge in a real work environment. Where is the role of the employer? Do they participate in offering work placement, internship, on-job training as part of their study program? Not everything should be done in a college. You will do a bit of theory and you go to the lab. No, they should be really out there with the employer, engaging with them, do work placement, to not only to apply the knowledge, the technical skills that they've learned, but the general core competencies, timekeeping, communication skills, your rights, your responsibility, your engagement, your behavior. All these you need to apply it as well. You will gain that. By the time you finish, you're ready. Flexibility in the delivery of the program. I don't think Kurdistan region has it. I'm taking too much time, but I'm passionate about it. Look at a traineeship and internship program. In the UK now we are developing a degree apprenticeship, where traditional route, you will do 3 years at the university, you will get your bachelor. Now you can do 5 years in work, real work environment, and you will go back to the university. The program is designed with industry and university. At the end of it, you still get the same degree, but you gained experience and you're getting paid. Now that is, to me as well, really serving the young generation, meeting the needs of employers, and serving your community. Forgive me for taking too long, but there's more I could add to it.
Of course, like when they are setting up a new frameworks, there is an objective, there is a vision, but of course there are lots of other challenges. So maybe if we can go more to Kurdistan. So what is so specific and challenging for Kurdistan, if any of you would? Yes, please, Hania.
I think it's a kind of funny. I am talking about the Kurdistan TVET qualification framework while Dr. Kawar is next to here, and then he talk about in general other countries' experience. So that yes, there is a TVET qualification framework, and then it has a 6. I think let me just read it out loud. It has a 6 pillars: leadership and the management of the resource and the environment, and the teaching and learning, and then engagement with the labor market and the companies, and the management of the quality, and then program development. So in my experience, when we were actually first implementing this TVET quality framework, and we were actually doing the self-audit and then the external audit with the vocational schools, at first, and when we are in generally, there are 60 indicators are there, and then when we first started, like only like 10% or 20% of the indicators are met in a quality framework. So that during the progress of the last 3-4 years, that we are supporting the vocational schools and the vocational training centers, so that reaching their target of the 80%. So that in my point of view, the weakness of the Kurdistan, actually the TVET system is like when you apply the qualification and the accreditation, and then it's very low at the moment. Accreditation result was saying. I think that's my answer for Katerina.
Yeah, thank you. Maybe I will just move a little bit further to something we were mentioning already several times. There is this framework in preparation, and there is this big strategic plans for empowering TVET as a part of higher education system. So, Professor Dr. Ari, maybe if you could tell us what are the steps that are expecting in the upcoming period to get more familiar what not only is the ideal TVET framework, but also what already was done by Ministry of Higher Education and how we can prepare for that.
So this is very important question actually, so please give me enough time to clarify the ministry strategic plan. برزان بسیارکا گلکا گرم بو کاترینای کری سرکا وزارت خواندنا بلند چی کریه چه پلان البره پراستی سال 2022 دا لجنه هات درست کردن لجنه کا بالا بو سروک زانکوین پولی تکنیک دگر راوشکار و ريفبرين قشتي الوزارة خاندنا بلند دقل لجنة كتايبة الوزارة پەروەردەیی هما هنگي به تكرن بو پیداچون و دانانا پلانك استراتيجية خاندنا پیشهیل هرما كردستانه کارکی گلکی باشه هاتیه کرن براستی پیداچونکا گلکا باشه هاتیه کرن بری ابد بیت دوری ساله که اندستری ادوایزری بورد دگرک خراوا آیرکس بورد راوشکاریا پیشسازی هاتیه درست کرن الوزارته اف بورد هنه پیداچونا بازار کاری تکتن دگل ستیک هولدرا کمپانیا پیداویستیت کاری که چه پیشکار پیوسته چه تایبتمندی پیوسته بابت کارسازی انترپرینرشیپ ریادت الاعمالیه اینا ادوی بابدیدا او پلانا وزارت داشتی از حسکم هندک خالا بو هوین بریز وگیرم وکرون کرنک وزارت خواندنا بلند و بکلین زانستی پلانا خویا استراتیجی ویشه وازی داشتی براستی ای کمپینگ آف خواندنه که گشتیل سربارودوخ هرما کردستانت نهودا خالا ای که چند آمادهیت پیشهی بسر پرورده و وزارت پرورده و هنه الهرما کردستانه که او پیزانینت من ورگرتین چل آمادهیت پیشسازیت هین دا بشکرین سردهوک و هولیر و سلیمانی و کرکوک راپرین و گرمیان و حلبچه که چل آمادهیت پیشسازینه اف قطابیت هنه ای کم ای کل سر پارزگه او اتوماتیکی اندچیتا کلی جا هف پشکت گل تایبت من دیاوی اف قطابین دیتر ادویتن تکراوی نمریتوی هفته صاده بید دابشیتن الپیمانگه بهتا ورگرتن رجل بردسته منین براستی بس اف رجل جوازن يعني افدر شو لازمه وزاره تسهيلات بدتن كو افرج هفته صدي بيت خاري اگر خواندنا پیشي هات وجوده وزارت پرورده وزارت خواندنا بلند بیت همه هنگی هبیتن افرج هفته صدي بيت خاري راستي نه تنها ایکم ایکی بلکم دهت ایکی بچنه خواندنا پیشي در فتا خواندنه بو بهت رخصاندن اوه بنسبتی بارودوخی گشتی خالن هر سرکی که هاتینا دست نیشان کرن مانه حتی تو کشه که ببینی لازمه تو دست خوب دانیه سر برینه خالن پیس خالن لاواس خالن پشگیر و خالن مترسی که خالن بهیس گرنگی حکمت هرما کردستان بابت خواندنا پیشهی و گریدان و بازار کاری و حکمت هرما کردستان بتایبتی سروک حکمت هرما کردستان گلک پشتگیر و رجده سروی چندید کد که خواندنا پیشهی بهت وجود براستی. هبونا پشتگیری و هاریکاریا سازی نیف دولتی بتایبتی ولات اوروپی و ریکار خستنا نیف دولتی و کی مگوتی اوهی کشوان بابت تفتا هاریکاریا آیرکسد بابت اندستری ادوایزری بورده خواندنا پیشهیل سر آست آمادهی که هر سه پارزگاهان خوشبختانه ویهی هبونا جدرین مروایی ین باش لسازین خواندنا بلند و کرت تایبت بو سوت ورگرتن خالین لاواز کدوید برچاف بهنه ورگرتن و که بزاوا برفره کرنا هیکل خواندنا پیشهیل پروردین پارزگاهن هرما کردستان نهاتی نکرن نبونا خاندنا پیشیت آست وزارت خاندنا بلنده هتا نکنه هاتیا وجوده و کی ما گوتی خوشبختانه کاری که باش می سرکری و نزدیکترین دمده تا وجوده. نبونا آواهی سردمیانه یان کومالگهی وک مجمع تایبت بخاندنین پیشی و بحثی ورشه و لابور و سنتر راهینانه. کەون بوونا بەرنامەن خواندنên پێشەیی نەیت سەردەمیانە نەپڕاستی. نەبوونا پشکên هەوشێوە کە قوتابی ئامادەیên پێشەیی خلاص بکەتن بهێتە پەیمانگەهەیان کولیژێ نەبوونا پشکên هەف پشک تایبەتمەندیە دادگەل ئێکۆدۆ. وەکی من ئاماژە پێکری وەرگرتنەکە ڕێژەکە کێ من دەرچوویەن ئامادەیên پێشەیی کولیژ و پەیمانگەهان ئەvە ژی vێت کار سەر بهێتەکردن. نبونا بودجکا تایبت بو پیش اخستنا خواندنا پیشه‌ای و نبونا خالکا گلکا گرنگ نبونا آن روشنبیریا جواکی گلکا پاشکفتیه بو وی بابتی که خلکک هزرد کتن تنها وکی مگوتی کچو کرایتوان بچن بکالوریوس بین نداره او قمتا که باورنامه که مزنا اینا داره نبونا سیستم هل سنگادن دلنیای جوری بو خواندنا پیشه‌ای تایبت گلک خالن من کرد کرنده مخالین که مترسی سروی بابتی اگر بابت خواندنا پیشه‌ای بهت وجوده نبونا پشتوانیا دارای رنگل دست پیک بوجک بهت دانان دیفدا دست لبیت بردان نبونا و آن نپشتوانیا که بردوام دبیتاوی وقتی کارسات کو ام خواندنا که دیجیل خوب کینا بالا و ام نشین چاره سریه که بودر چونا بکن نبونا یا سو رین مای تایبت بخواندنا پیشه‌ای و اوجی پیوسته اگه خود حسکتن پرلمان کفت کاری هندک یاسا و تشریعات تایبت بخواندنا پیشه‌ای و بهنه درست کرن. پش بستن بهزا کار نافخویل کرده تایبت. برای زان الهمی ولات دنیای زانکوین پولی تکنیک، زانکوین اپلاید ساینس، زانستین کرداری پش بستن کرده تایبتت کن که تیوری دل زانکوی ورگریتن پراکتیکی چنن کرده تایبت وردگرن. اوجی کار سرد بتن وزارت کار سر هند کمپانیان فرض بکتن کو اف قطابیه هنه بهتن راهینان الوان کمپانیا بکتن زیدبونا قطابی و خیندکارا سال بو سال رجوان گلکا زیدت بیتن ویتن ریکن چاره سریه بو ویچنده هبیتن چونکه رخصاندنا دلیوا خواندن الهرم کوردستان الوکی چو ولاتین دیترنینن پراستی دلیوا خواندن گلک زوره و کلتور وکی مگوتی همی کچو کر حسکن خواندنا خو بردوامی بدنه اوجی دی بیتر ریکک کو افزختا هنه کیم ببیت درزبونا روشنبیری لای خیزانی و جواکی خواندنا پیشه‌ای خواندنا که گلکا باشه دلیوا کاری اب آسانتر پیدات کرد. پرانیا درچوین پیشه‌ای تخازن درجی بدنا خواندنا خول زانکوها نوک کل بازار کاری کار بکن. اوجی ایکش خالن مترسیه که در بچیتن هگه دلیوا کاری دید او خودی چیتا دلیوا کاری شول بکت نکو بردوام یبدت خواندنا خوب چیتن پیمانگه دشنی خینیتن یا تکنیکی یان دی چیتن بکالوریوس یان ماستر تمام کتن. پینگاوا دویت پلان استراتژی داراستی دارشتن استراتژی خواندنا پیشه‌ای دید و پیام و آرمانج سرکی دوی پلانه وقتی خواندنا پیشه‌ای هات وجود پراستی برنامه که کارایی و کارتکری خواندنا پیشه‌ای بیت درست کردن پروگرام خواندن دویت پیداویستیت بازاری کاری بن نوکینو که وکیت کمبینا وزارت دا آماجه پیچنده کرد جناب وزیری گلک بشن هاتین برای زنو که او بش قطابی تقدیم ناکته قدامی پیشکش ناکتن فلسفه زمان عربیه قطابی پیشکشی وان اویدیا ناکتن فام ادویتن هزرت وی چنده دا بکین اف بشن خواندنا پیشه‌ای اویتین وکرن دیف پیداویستی بازار کاری بیتن خالکا دیا گرنگ اف قطابیه درجیتن ویت یه کارمایی بیتون و لحاتی بیتن هک سکیلز نبن خلکک ده هر کارمندی بیانی اینیتن درچوی منا اینیتن خالا دیتر ادویتن بلند کرنا شیان کارسازی که اوی در بچیتن نتنها بچیت کری کارک بیت کارمندک بیت الجهه کی شلکت بس بلکم او خوب بیت خودان بس نس کار بکتن خالا دیتر جیا سرکی و یا دو ماهی که ئەو دەرچوویە هەنێت بێت دەلیڤاکار یا درێژ خایەن ببینیتن بوو نمونە دە دەرچوویە گەشت و گوزاری بیتن پوێ چەندێ گرێدای بیت وەختێ مەوسمێ سیاحێ بچیتن ئەو 5 هەیڤە 6 هەیڤە بچیتە ماڵا خۆڤە ئەڤەژی خاڵێت گەلێکێت گرنگن کە بەرچاو بێتە وەرگرتن پێنگاوا بەری دوو ماهیکێ جێبەجێکردنا استراتیجیا پلانا خاندنا پێشەیل هەرێما کوردستانê پلانا کورتەخایەنە پلانا مامنەوەندیە پلانا درێژخایەنە یا کورتەخایەن قوتابی دبلۆما 1 ساڵی 2 ساڵی وەرگریتن یا مامنەوەندی 3 ساڵی کە دەبیتە بەکەلۆریوسا پێشەیی یا 5 ساڵی دەبیتن ماستەرە پێشەیی وەربگریتن طبعاً بوو جێبەجێکردنا vê çendê دەبێتن بودجەیەکە هەرە باش بهێتە تەرخوانکردن دەبێتن ژێرخایەنە ئان ئەفراستراکچەرێ باش هەبیتن هەر زانکۆیەکێ وەکی me gotî labûre werşene senterê rahînanê parîkarî digel wezareta kar xala dîtir mamostayê me dibêtin berî ew pêşekarî derbêxînîtin vêt ebxû skills hebin şiyan hebîtin ke mamostayê pêşekar bîtin vêt biçîte xûleka çir ya pêdagogî bibûrin ege min dirêj kirbîtin pêngava çarê û ya du mahîkê cêbecêkirina her programekî dibêtin standard û pîverên dilniya cûrî yê cîhanî hebin ku pêdaçûnê pê bikin bû ev plana stratîjî ew hatiye durustkirin wek dilniya cûrî li wezaretê vê pêdaçûnê pê biketin spas.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm so sorry.
So much. No worries. You actually, in the last comment, you started to go to something that we already have in questions from the audience, but also we had it as a question that it's quite interesting, and that's the quality assurance. And there was one question from the audience that is slightly related to that. How will you assess opening TVET programs or departments against what is needed at the market? And this is, I think, something that you also mentioned, and maybe I will politely disagree about not maybe practical education. So what are the ways that we can assess the quality of TVET programs and how they can be measured and how they can be improved based on the data that we have or how we can collect the data? Maybe I will start with Hongyan. Sorry.
Yeah. Sorry, if I summarize your question correctly, how we measure the quality,
Yes.
and then how we improve it.
Yes.
So usually what normal process according to TVET qualification framework is there are 60 indicators we have it there, and then we organize a team unit of the quality assurance team within a vocational schools or the vocational training center or the technical universities or the polytechnical university. So then the organized team is having a work plan or the implementation plan of the indicators so that they were every quarter they are following up on the indicators. So that at the end of the day, the external auditor who are organized from the Ministry of Education or organized within the three ministry, Ministry of Education, Ministry of Higher Education, and the Ministry of Labor and the Social Affairs, they have a quality assurance audit team so that they come to each institute and then they evaluate based on the TVET qualification curriculum. This is in general, like in a short term of explanation of how the process is going.
Yeah, thank you so much. Maybe just to go a little bit. Yes, go on.
If I may, I'll be very, very brief. Currently, I'm working on a project setting up a skills unit. The primary goal and the focus of that unit is intelligence gathering and producing analytics on the various programs and industry needs, i.e., do these programs meet expectations of the labor market, or they're just producing these programs and running with it and consuming public fund. So the primary goal, it is actually looking at the alignment between the training programs and the labor market needs. That will include graduation rates, salaries, longevity of the work, etc., etc. And that is analytics. We're developing a nice dashboard for it where government bodies and employers and students and colleges can look at it and see this is the trend, this is the need, etc. That is what you really need within this ecosystem.
Yeah. Thank you. I will continue with questions from the audience. One more question that is maybe also related to another one. So there was not a question, it was just a suggestion, and we were already discussing it. So I think government can benefit from skilled people from refugees, vulnerable communities who currently living in Kurdistan and seeking real integration. What do you think? And we also have the question about sustainability 2030 and the needs of the sustainable economic and getting rid of inequalities in the society is essential to that. So what do you think? Do you think TVET as a framework can support social integration, reducing of inequalities, etc.? Maybe the questions for all of the participants as a wrap-up question.
I think yes, you can. If you have a national skills framework where you have the general competencies and the technical competencies differentiated across different proficiencies. So everybody will benefit out of it, really. That's what you really need to include that in it.
Hankyam? Can it support TVET? Can successful TVET support successful social integration?
I think that's why in a previous UNESCO project, actually, we do have a TVET and then integration of the prevention of the violent extremism, so that we integrate them together, so that when we are delivering a TVET, and then we also have the components of the prevention of the violent extremism, the freedom of speech, and the freedom of rights. So those are essential of the cross-cutting issues that we implemented it together with the TVET.
Thank you.
I think I already answered all this question.
Okay. So thank you very much.
I think the gentleman wants to ask a question.
I'm sorry, one more question because it was required, and that will be the last question of the panel.
باش من دكتور عبد الرزاق ناوندي مستشار لانجمني وزيران بابتك كبيوسته بسياستي ترخانکردنی ئەقسام لە شارە بچووکەکان لە ماحد و لەو ئەقسامانەی کە لەوێ هەنە لە ماحدەکان بە تایبەتی بۆ نمونە شوێنێک وەکو چۆمان خەلیفان یان مێرگەسۆر و وانە کە لەوێ هەنە ئەقسامەکان چین کارگێڕی یاسایە ژمێریاریە یاسایە و هەندێک جاریش ئایتی و شتیوالەیە من محەیر ماوم شوێنێک وەکو چۆمان یا مێرگەسۆر یا وەکو خەلیفان 4-5 دایرەی لێیە دەکاتە 4-5 کەسی پێویستە بۆ شەئنێکی قانونی کە تەڵەبەیەکی لێوەربگری بەڵام باشترین جۆری هەنجوێن لەوێ هەیە باشترین ئاژەڵداری لەوێ هەیە بۆچی قسمێکی ئاژەڵداری لەوێ ناکردرێتەوە بۆچی قسمێکی پەرەپێدانی هەنجوێن لەوێ ناکردرێتەوە بەخێوکردنی مەڕووماڵات لەوێ ناکردرێتەوە بە پێچەوانەی ئەو قسەی کە دکتۆرە وتی خەڵک تەقدیم ناکاتن بۆ ئەو ئەقسامانە بۆ شوێنێک وەکو چۆمان وەکو باڵەکایەتی کە زمانێکی کوردی پاراوی هەیە دەبوایە لەوێ قسمی کوردی هەبایە نەک ئایتی گوندەکەی من کە خەریجی یەکەمی گوندەکەم ساڵی 2000 من بوومە ئێستا 200-250 ئایتی هەیە لە کاتێکا نازانن مۆبایلەکەشیان بە تەواوی بەکاربێنن نەخێر دەبیا قسمی بەخێوکردنی گوێزیان هەبیتن قسمی بەخێوکردنی هەنجوونیان هەبیتن با بڵێن مێشیان هەبی و ئیلی ئاخری بۆیە داوا دەکەم لە جەنابی وەزیری پەروەردە بە هاوکاری دەگەڵ وەزارەتی خوێندنی باڵا کار لەسەر ئەم بابەتانە بکەن و ئەمانە بگۆڕن ئەگەر بالئیجباریش بی دەبیا بیان گۆڕن چونکو کاری حکوومەت ڕاکێشانە و بۆ پەیداکردنی هەلی کار ئەم بابەتە منافەسەش نایەڵیتن کوڕی من دەڵێتن کە مەحەدەکە لەوەیە و نزیکە و بە 2 ساڵی خۆم کارەکەی خۆم تەواو دەکەم و شەهادەیەک دینم و داش دەنیشتن لە ماڵێ و دواتر دەبێ بچتن لەسەر دوکانێک کار بکاتن بەعکسی بە بازارکردن سوپاس
Very short reaction, if possible, in 1-2 words.
استاد زور سپاس بو بسیارا جنابتا گلکا جی خدایا بو زانین وزارت خواندنا بلند 165 باش قطابی لنا ورگرتن پارسال البرا کنفرانسک بو پروگرام خواندن دی پیدا چونک ایتا کرن پراستی اف بابتک گلکی گرنگا که آخر کن بون بری دو روژا يعني وكيد بجن رجدا سروی چند هاتیه کرن دیف پیداویستیا دفره ادویتن پشک بهنه دانان بجا اف خالا من آماجه بکری پسند بو آختنا جنابتا سپاس
Thank you. Unfortunately, I see the topic is very interesting and it's very complex by the last few questions that were discussing how many people have to be involved to actually set up a proper framework. But I will have to finish this panel. Thanks our panelists for their time. Apologize to the organizer for taking a little bit of more time. And once again, also saying a big thank you for organizers that were involved in organizing this beautiful event. And I really hope it will bring some positive outcomes in discussions and improvements. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Excellency. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.